Good day, everybody. I'm Matthew. Welcome to Coming Down. Joined here by my co-host Nathan.
Hello.
Wow, man. Feels like forever, but it's only been a week.
I know, right? That's what happens when life takes hold and you're busy all the time.
Seriously.
I mean, as we were talking earlier, like, we've just been doing this. We haven't actually kicked it in a minute, so we're going to do that tonight a little bit.
This is basically my free time. It's just like, okay, cool. I crammed a whole bunch of work in, and now I'm going to go record a podcast, and then I'm going to go sleep and go back to work again.
Yeah.
Forever.
Which, there's worse ways to fill your free time, but holy moly,
absolutely.
dude.
Yeah. Been a minute. Man, so, is there anything that happened this week? Did anybody die? Like,
I'm sure they did. Well, I mean, I guess a couple things died in Portland, as we found out today.
Yeah.
Bridgeport Brewing closed down, as well as Burnside Brewing. So
yeah, and Widmer's already gone, I heard. Like, they shut down their brewery.
Did they really?
Their brew pub, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I
just
believe
the pub.
they're still bottling, but, like, brew pub shut down, as well as Portland Brewing shut down.
Whoa, wild, man. Yeah, I guess it's just, the times are changing, too.
Well, Bridgeport, in their press release, they just said, we can't compete with the current level of craft beer. And I don't fault them for that. I mean, like, their beer hasn't changed. Like, they're
right.
still providing the same level of quality that revolutionized the microbrew industry, but, dude, their beer hasn't changed.
Right, totally. No, and I mean, we're in this world now of, these hazy IPAs and all this stuff. So yeah, if you're not keeping up with the new guys.
Right.
Yeah, our cat's upset about it too.
Yeah, she's pissed. It's a long-standing tradition. She's upset that it's leaving.
Yep.
Yeah, although I will say that the bar that I work in serves Bridgeport as our only IPA, and I am excited to be getting a new flavor.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, I guess they must have had a contract with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, wonder what you'll get now.
I'm got my fingers crossed that it's going to be something juicy.
Yeah, totally.
But it doesn't really matter. I never drink there anyway, so it's
right.
Like,
yeah,
whatever.
But you might sell a few more if it's something fresh new.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I always kind of feel a little bit guilty, and like, I'm not trying to throw any shade at Bridgeport, but like when hopheads show up, and like that's the most hops that we got is Bridgeport IPA.
Yeah,
that's some fucking sad shit right there.
For sure.
I mean, fuck.
You don't do any of the hop czars or anything like that?
No, and it's not like we couldn't, but we just only have so many taps.
Yeah, of course.
Having 2 IPAs on would have been overkill. Plus, you throw another IPA on, who the fuck's going to buy the Bridgeport? So
yeah, it's a good point.
Which, I mean, and that's why they shut down. Is because, if there's another IPA on, why would you buy Bridgeport?
Yeah.
It's just a sign of the times.
Yeah. No, and it's unclear why Burnside closed down, because it felt like they were doing some pretty modern beers, but...
Yeah, I actually haven't heard any of the scuttlebutt on that.
Yeah, I couldn't really find much, except that they just, yes, unknown to all the employees, closed on Tuesday. And
that sounds like financial shenanigans.
Yeah, it probably is. And I read like a little piece that maybe they were having some landlord issues, at least with the brew pub, but it sounds like they shut the whole operation down. So
Jesus.
Yeah, so the beer landscape's going to change in Portland a little bit more here.
Wow, that's and I mean, it's not as though there isn't plenty to fill the vacuum, but
of course,
it's so crazy that institutions like that are shutting down.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I mean, they're one of the longest standing breweries around here. Microbreweries. So yeah, it's wild.
They're the Orig, the OG,
the Origeport. Anyhow, I don't know, that was kind of the only news I heard today. I don't know if there's anything else really going on.
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty else going on, but
yeah,
that's good enough, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's our little weekly roundup.
Beers are going, people are sad.
Yep. But yeah, this episode's gonna be cool. We do a lot of sketchy times episodes or close calls or, some weird fucked up thing that happened.
I got drunk and ran from the cops.
Yeah, but this one's just all heart.
It's nice to have a feel-good story every now and then.
Yeah, totally. And without telling too much more about it, it's nice. It's a cool story for sure.
Hell yeah. I wasn't even sure if I was going to tell this one, but like there was just one day where I was like, man, it'd be cool if that one got out there at some point. And, I had just enough beers to make it happen one night. So here we are.
Hell yeah. I like it.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to dig up any show notes on this one, but
yeah, probably not.
Yeah, it's probably just going to be pretty cut and dry. So, if you want to... if you want to check out any show notes, if we have any, they'll be on the mothership at comingdownpod.com. You'll also find links there for our Patreon. We thank everyone who is supporting us right now. You guys keep the lights on. Well done. That's going to be patreon.com/comingdownpod. You'll also find links on the mothership to all of our stuff as well as ways to contact us. So if you would like to be on the show, you can get at us through Twitter. That's @comingdownpod. Or you can email us. It's comingdownpod@gmail.com. Anything that you want to say, we would love to hear it. The platforms that we're on are Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We're also on iTunes. And if you would like to leave us a review, please hit us up on Stitcher.
Indeed.
Really appreciate it.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's it, man. Let's hit it. Wedding present from my mom is really fucking cool, and we might have to bust it out soon. Hell, maybe even tonight. I don't know. Ooh. But she went to Ireland recently.
Oh,
did I tell you about this?
I think you should pretend that you didn't.
Well, yeah. And so she got me this. She went to the oldest thatched roof pub in Ireland. It's like 460 years old or some such.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, 1654.
Yeah, and so they were hanging out there one night, and this pub does, like a small batch whiskey every year. And I imagine it has to be super limited edition, and people must come from all around to acquire this, just because of, the namesake and the famous nature of the pub. And so they were there the night that they got the delivery, and the delivery came in 2 days early.
Wow.
And I guess someone in there, and the owner was talking to him about, oh yeah, this whiskey, and told him all about it. And I guess someone in their tour group kind of kept bugging him to let a couple bottles go. And so he finally did, and then ended up letting several bottles go. So my mom was there to pick one up and grabbed it for us. And so now we have this 8-year whiskey from Cascades in Ireland. And yeah, I imagine is going to be insane.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah, so we're going to have that kicking around to share on special occasions with the right people.
Then, the labeling, the bottling is just, it's beautiful.
Well, and super producer just set 2 glasses down in front of us, so I mean, should we? I
mean, I certainly wouldn't mind accompanying my storytelling with a little bit of Irish fire.
All right.
And thank you to our super producer for her infinite wisdom.
Indeed.
Glasses are crystal.
Yeah, and she got us a set of crystal glasses.
Oh.
Now if I can just figure out how to open this. Oh yeah, I think we need that.
You want to do this right. Like do it with the wine key.
Yeah. Indeed.
Cut that foil.
Are you you didn't grab a glass for yourself, Ricky?
Alright. Honestly, I mostly pulled them out because I didn't know if you wanted to talk about the glasses, because she got us 4 total. But,
yeah.
Hey.
Well,
when in Rome.
Yeah. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with this.
And I mean, I wouldn't go anywhere near crazy. Like
no. We'll do a little
sampler,
a little pour here.
Over the laptop.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how you do it.
I mean, that's the Irish way. Leave.
Yeah, so anyhow, apparently, just some more history on this place, or some more facts about this place. I guess they just recently re-thatched their roof, and since obviously that skill is long gone, it costs like $20,000 to re-thatch a roof, because no one does it anymore. There's only certain people. So, yeah. So, cheers, friends.
Cheers. One more time.
Clank, clank. All right.
My goodness.
Boy.
Yeah.
Well, that is just delicious.
I didn't even make a face.
I'm going to put a couple drops of water in it.
Yeah, do it. Terrible podcast idea, whiskey sampling. I'm sure that was thrilling for the listener at home.
It's cool. We can start going off about how great it is.
Yeah. No, that was delicious.
Fucking A. It's like honey made of fire.
Pretty much, yeah. It's 46%, so it's a wee bit stronger than your typical...
Yeah, cask strength.
Yeah.
Oh, and dude, I recommend a couple drops. It really opens it up.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, she also was explaining to me that you're supposed to hold it in the palm of your hand.
So it warms it up.
Swirl it around and just warm it up to the heat of your palm. And then I guess it really changes the flavor as well. Yeah. So
absolutely. Yeah, this is an amazing whiskey. And honestly, I don't believe I've ever had Irish whiskey that was anything above like Jameson. So.
Same. I mean, obviously, yeah. We wouldn't see much of it here.
Well, and that's the fucking shame of it is, they'll import all the scotches in the world, but, Irish whiskey is, for the most part, unless you're talking about the production stuff, completely ignored. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there's plenty of artisanal, like, small batch kind of whiskeys that are happening because it's all the fucking rage everywhere. Like, damn right the Irish are doing that too.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, I prefer Irish whiskey to any other whiskey, so it tends to be much smoother in my experience.
I don't want to out myself on any particular whiskey because I like them all, but I will say that my go-to, if I'm ordering whiskey in a bar, is Irish whiskey.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Tullamore Dew or Jameson is usually what I go for.
I mean, I'm often waiting for the bus at the Yamhill pub at the end of the night, and if I don't want to stomach Old Crow and PBR, it's Miller High Life and Jameson.
Sounds like a Yamhill pub pair.
Right? Champagne and beers and a fancy Irish whiskey.
Love it.
It's an upgrade. Oh, God.
I'm surprised you can even get Jameson at Yamhill pub.
I mean, they might just keep it around for me at this point.
Yeah. Knock the dust off the bottle.
Right, and they always like to pretend like I don't even know if we have any High Life. Let me take a look, because it's always in tall boys. Like, it's not on tap, like, that's one of the reasons that I get it, is when I'm just like, man, I don't want to fuck with their fucking glassware here, like,
or their wines.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was not trying to disparage them in a recording, but you're not incorrect.
I mean, look, they know what they are.
Oh, God damn it, but that place has just saved my ass so many times when I'm like, oh, cool, it's fucking midnight, I don't have a bus for an hour, what am I gonna do? And Yamhill pub, that's what I'm doing.
Yep. Ugh. Boy, yeah, and it's like, amazingly, that's one of the better bars to hang out in downtown, and that speaks to how awful downtown is.
It's pretty bad. Like, I've found a couple other ones, like Shift Drinks and Momos, that are, like, pretty doable, but they're a little far north. Like, I need to be close to the bus line, and Yamhill's got it.
Indeed. All right, man.
Well, yeah, speaking of bus lines,
yeah,
let's get to it.
What a segue, man. We're turning pro.
Saying, we're on fire. So, yeah, I mean, this might be kind of short and sweet, but I feel like this is one of the better things that's happened to me, so I want to get it out there. At the time, I believe I was 19 years old, 20 at the oldest. But I'm pretty sure I was turning 20 because it was Christmas time and I wasn't going to be of age. Anyway, so I'm living in Topanga Canyon, which for our viewers who are not aware, our listeners who are not aware, that is between Santa Monica and Malibu in I believe it's the San Gabriel Mountains. Anyway, it's a mountain range in between Santa Monica and Malibu. And there are a number of canyons that have been forged by creeks all along the coastline between Santa Monica and Malibu, and they kind of formed the basis of the communities up there. And the folks who are lower income tend to live in the lower elevations. They're collectively known as creekers. Because
that sounds derogatory.
All the creeks, and oh man, and there's a migrant population that literally lives in the creek canyons that are undeveloped, but that's another story. And there's the folks who are rich, who have moved up there after like the artists and hippies kind of made it a cool place to live. And they live up on the peaks, so they're called the peakers. And yeah, I know, right?
Well, what about the beachfront people? Because those are extremely rich people too.
Sure, but that's kind of a different community. Like you got to kind of drive a little ways to get up into Topanga Canyon proper.
East of Malibu, you go a little east of Malibu, or like the beachfront Malibu.
So if you're looking at the coastline of California, Santa Monica is a little east of Malibu, and Topanga is in between Santa Monica and Malibu. So it's like slightly east, but also north. Anyway, but
yeah, we got lost there on tour once.
Oh no shit!
Yeah, and ended up in some neighborhood. Well, because we were just trying to find a place to park for the night, just to sleep in our van.
In Malibu?
Well, you can't go on the beaches anywhere at night in California anymore. And then we ended up in rich neighborhoods up in the hills.
Well,
and we were like, we can't park here. We're going to get the cops called on us instantly. Yeah, I mean, we even, I think, mentioned Big Lebowski. Like, get the hell out of Malibu.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it was hard to find a place where we felt like we could just crash out for a couple hours in the van.
Oh, man. I feel like I should mention, though, just as an aside, while I was living in Topanga Canyon, I was framing houses in Malibu. I actually worked on Richard Riordan's ex-wife's house. That woman is not my favorite. And it's like a $6 million house. Anyway, I was driving a lived-in Nissan Sentra, and I was pulled over because I had expired plates or expired tags, and I think that they had been expired for a decent amount of time at this point. Like, it wasn't just like, you should have gotten those done last month. It was like, buddy, what are you still doing driving, And my license was also expired.
Oh, no.
And just to complete the hat trick, no insurance. So, getting pulled over. And this was a car that we'd had on Fish Tour. There might have been an altar on the dashboard with Yoda in the middle. Anyway, the cop saw all the shit in my car and was just like, dude, do I need to search this? Do you have any fucking drugs? And I'm like, man, no, I'm just trying to get to work. And he's like, because I do not want to call the canine unit right now. And I'm like, trust me, man, this car is completely clean. And the crazy thing is, I was being completely honest.
It probably was.
It belonged to my girlfriend at the time, and she was so paranoid about getting arrested that she refused to even let me carry weed in that car.
Oh, wow.
I believe at one point there might have been a pipe that had been smoked out of in that car, just being transported. And that was the maximum amount of contraband that had ever been in that vehicle. So, there was no possibility for drug dog hits.
It actually was safe.
Unless the previous owner had, magically hidden something in the body of the car. Yeah, we were good. And so I was just swear up and down, there's never been anything in this car. And he was actually kind of shocked, just wow, that's fucking sincere, And so He backed off and was just like, yeah, man, all right, tell you what I'm gonna do. You get this fixed, they're gonna like charge you a little bit, but it's not gonna be a big deal. Just don't ever let me see you out here again with expired tags.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the rest of the story is?
Did you get pulled over again?
With expired tags?
With expired tags?
Yes,
by the same cop?
By the same cop.
Oh, no.
The next week.
Oh, no.
Going to work. He pulls me over. He's like, what happened?
Dude.
And I'm like, man, I'm really sorry. I thought that I was going to have enough money to do this, and I didn't get my paycheck last week. That was total bullshit. I just fucking forgot about it because I was a fucking 19-year-old stoner.
Yeah.
But he was just like, man, I don't want to impound your car. Fuck. And I'm just like, I know. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Like, what can I say? And he's just like, well, there's nothing else I can do. I'm gonna have to impound your car. Do you need a ride to work?
Damn. I mean, that's cool.
So I just want to say that there was one sheriff in Malibu who was cool as fuck, or at least gave a shit about the working man, you know?
Yeah.
I had a long fucking ponytail. I had Yoda in an altar on my fucking dashboard. Like, if the Big Lebowski tells us anything, he should have been kicking my ass down the PCH.
Yeah.
But instead he gave me a ride to work. So anyway, all Malibu tales aside, I'm living in Topanga Canyon. I'm framing houses. At this point, I was helping my friend throw parties in LA. Like, it was like the small scale stuff where David Lynch put my name on a flyer.
Right.
And yeah, I think that had actually just happened like, a month or so before this story takes place. And I'm kind of just riding high, like feeling great. And
like shit's coming together.
Yeah, just like life is good,
Yeah.
And it's real. I want to say it's just a few days before Christmas. It's nigh on Christmas. It might even be the 23rd or something like that. I don't want to say it was Christmas Eve because I would probably remember that.
Probably remember that.
Yeah. But anyway, I was taking a plane from California up to Portland and then catching another one to fly to Redmond, which is the closest airport to Bend. Because that makes sense.
Yeah, Bend doesn't have its own airport?
Technically it does, but it's a private airport that only does small craft. And maybe that will change at some point in time. Who knows? I think Redmond's just going to get consumed by the Bend metropolitan area, and they're just going to be like, well, that's outskirts of Bend anyway.
Yeah, makes sense.
Who knows? But so I got on a plane really early in the morning, and we flew up to Portland, and around midday we got on the flight to Redmond. And the rad thing about the turboprop from Portland to Redmond is, or at least at this point in time, I believe it's changed now, but it used to be they always served Deschutes Brewery beer, and for some reason they didn't charge you for it.
That's fantastic.
I think it was because it was a twin turboprop, so the wings literally flap. Just because of how the plane is designed, they just kind of go up and down. And it can be really disconcerting if you're not used to it,
Yeah, flying in any plane is a little nerve-wracking. Flying in small planes is very nerve-wracking.
Exactly. It's loud.
It feels like it's going to come apart.
Yeah. You hit any kind of turbulence, and it's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and you look out and you see parts move, and they're designed to move, but your brain doesn't feel good about seeing all these parts moving like they are.
Oh, no. So I suspect that the free booze was just kind of a like, God, please drink this so you'll shut up kind of a move.
Sure.
And I was like, Black Beer Porter. Excellent. I think I'll have another. And
so they weren't charging or carding.
Oh no, it was lovely. And so then we get. Oh man, actually, no. I think I'm conflating this with a flight that I took when I was older. Because I don't know that... I definitely got served on my flight to Maui when I was 19 because it was international waters and they didn't give a fuck.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But...
totally.
And who knows? Maybe they didn't do that on this flight, but I can't imagine that anybody was serving people on a flight within the States where they weren't like carding folks who looked like minors.
Yeah, maybe.
But who the fuck knows? It was the 90s. It was the Wild West back then, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I doubt it. But anyway, my memory's foggy. I do know that there was at least one flight where I got served beer and wasn't charged for it on the turboprop between Portland and Redmond. Maybe this wasn't that flight. But for the sake of argument, let's say that it was.
It was this flight.
So anyway... We're on the twin turboprop. We're flapping through the fucking Cascades. And, you know, just as soon as we get over the mountains, it's fucking pea soup. Which is weird, because usually the west side of the Cascades is the cloudy side, right?
Yeah.
But some kind of weird fucking wintertime bullshit that happens every now and again.
I think that's the official term.
Yes,
ask any meteorologist.
Oh, that's clearly weird wintertime bullshit.
Yep.
Record high in 1928. Yeah. Anyway, all scientific descriptions aside, it was freezing fog, and as an interesting aside, freezing fog, at least in Central Oregon, when it condenses on things that are already cold as fuck, it makes what's called hoarfrost, which is tiny icicles covering everything. So like a pine needle covered in tiny fucking icicles.
Whoa.
Now imagine a pine tree that has fucking thousands of pine needles, and each needle's covered in like, I don't know, 50 tiny icicles at least. Like, imagine what that looks like, right?
That's cool.
Nuts. And so, I mean, in those kind of conditions, you need some fucking equipment to land an airplane, right?
Yeah.
And...
does that mean the airplane's getting ice on it as well?
I think it takes a little longer for that kind of intricate ice to form, but
sure.
It's freezing fog, so as any plane descends, it's gonna, shit is gonna freeze on it. And ordinarily, at larger airports that have more weather, that's not a problem. They have like laser guidance systems, heated runways, stuff that I don't know about.
Yeah, things
that lets you
get around
land
these
planes.
problems. Yeah.
Redmond, Oregon? We got some pavement. We got some lights. No. Y'all can't land with that. So, I don't know why I say y'all. We're not from the South, but there are definitely some rednecks who pretend to use that accent in Bend, and it's fucking obnoxious. Anyway, yeah, so we can't land the plane.
I say y'all.
I do too.
But my family's from the South. So.
I do too. Well, wait. Your family's from the South?
My extended family.
Oh, okay, got it. I'm like, is Colorado in the South now?
No.
Fuck.
No, all my extended family is from Texas. And so my grandparents grew up in Texas. My grandma did. And so she has a bit of Southern twang. And then... that's just always stuck with her kids and right on to me.
Hey man, my mom's from Kansas, and like, she drops back into that twang every now and then.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe that's my excuse. I don't know, but I will just say that plane could not land in Redmond, and we had to turn back around, which has never happened to me before in an airplane.
Yeah, that's rough.
And the crew was pretty chill about it, which, I mean, they kind of had to be because everyone was fairly alarmed that we couldn't land. But they're just like, oh, it's cool. We have tons of fuel. We're just going to head back to Portland. We're going to serve some more drinks. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Fine.
And so, we fly back to Portland, and I don't remember exactly how long the flight to Bend is. I want to say it's like, 30, maybe 45 minutes.
It can't be that long at all.
So, it's like an hour and a half that we're in the air, maybe 2 hours maximum.
Yeah.
And by the time we land, it's afternoon. And the airline's really apologetic. They're like, we couldn't have foreseen this, blah, blah, blah. Like, they just don't have the right technology. But we're going to make this right. We have a number of buses that are coming to the airport. They're going to drive you to the Redmond airport. It's going to be about a 3.5 to 4.5 hour trip, depending on how good the pass is. But the buses have chains, so it doesn't matter. And,
sure, yeah. I mean, I was going to say, if there's frozen fog, the pass doesn't sound great, but,
right. But, I mean, I grew up in Bend. I'm used to traction devices and driving on snow. I'm just kind of fucking whatever. It's just going to take longer. Who cares, I guess. I have nothing better to do.
Well, and you still got to get there. So
yeah, and so I'm just they put us all in this big room, and I don't know what it's usually used for. I think it's used for charter flights, as a
slaughter room.
That's kind of what it felt like, man. It was weird, we're just a bunch of people packed into this big room. There's benches to sit on and stuff, and there's a couple of really shitty half-ass airline desks, 2 of them at the back of the room, and there's just kind of some airline people standing there, and I'm like, what are you doing? But eventually I found out that their purpose was for people to focus on them and start bitching at them profusely, because that's what people started doing.
Oh, I bet.
And the tone in the room.
Well, and you've got that Christmas tension going on here.
Exactly.
Too.
This is Christmas travel, and like I said, I don't remember what day it was, but it was close enough to Christmas.
Close enough that people were
getting bent out of shape. Yeah. And there's kids. There's families that are trying to travel on this fucking flight. And that was the other thing, is there were a number of flights that were stacked up going to Bend, and none of them fucking made it there, and they're just shoving them all into this fucking room.
So it's not just your flight. Just
no,
another flight just got grounded, and here's all these poor people not getting anywhere. Oh man,
a minimum of 2 or 3, possibly 3 or 4 flights that were just all in this room. And I mean, they can't hold that many people on a turboprop, but you shove 3 or 4 flights in there, and that's a good amount of people. And I want to say that there was enough room for everyone to sit down, but there might not have been. It was pretty cramped. And so I was just kind of standing up with all my gear, and just fucking around, just kind of walking, checking shit out. I've got some shit out of a vending machine. And eventually I'm kind of up towards the front of the room where the desks are, kind of just people watching and observing the various bitching techniques that people are employing on these airline employees. And some kids just start melting down. There's a little pocket of children for some reason, and they're all just having a hard time, and it's not bawling or anything, but it's just why can't we go? And I'm oh man, someone needs to do something to fucking relieve the tension in this room, because it's on the verge of fucking riot right now. And at this point in my life, I have a pouch from the Ren Fair with a big fucking namaste carved into the side of it, and a Celtic knot, and it's filled with bubbles and Yoda, various glowing toys.
Your trip toy bag?
It was my magic trip toy bag, and I was these motherfuckers need some bubbles right now. And so I I've got this little thing of like wedding bubbles, you know, that's just the right size to fit into a little Ren Fair pouch, and I keep it topped off with my personal stash of highly concentrated bubble goo. And
only the finest of bubble goo.
you know, I try to keep it real, and so I'm not about to just start fucking blowing bubbles willy-nilly in this fucking airport room, all right? Like, I kind of wait until, like, nobody's looking, and then I just, like, blow out a little puff, and then I put it away and turn so that, like, no one can see that it came from me. And I just kind of wait and listen, and then I hear a child's voice go, "Bubbles!" And I knew that I'd gotten there. And I just kind of wait a minute, and then I look, and they're fucking chasing them down and popping them. And the adults are just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? But they're just relieved that the kids aren't fucking...
I don't care where those bubbles came from, but...
Oh, thank God. And so, like, you know, they kind of turn away for a minute, and I just fucking blow some over my shoulder back where the fucking kids are again. And they're like, oh shit! There they are again. You know, I don't think they said shit. But,
unlikely, but
you know, and like I kind of like I take a few steps and I like get behind the adults that are kind of watching them and I blow some more, and then they fucking come running back towards the adults and they're just like, okay, what the fuck is going on? You know, and at that point, you know, I pull it out kind of obviously and blow some bubbles onto the kids, and they're just like, oh, that's cool.
What a nice hippie.
Yeah. And then the kids see that it's me, and so they're like, oh, blow some more bubbles. And so I blow like maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6 more puffs, you know, just to like really fill the air with bubbles. Put my bubbles away real quick, whip out the devil sticks, and start juggling.
Nice.
And to say that I had a captive audience is a massive understatement.
Man, I mean, I don't always really want to watch a hippie devil stick. In fact, I rarely want to watch a hippie devil stick. As a person who devil sticks. But if I'm trapped in a fucking airplane hangar with a bunch of irritated people and children, and some guy whips out the devil sticks, I am stoked. Yes. I am ready to watch all the devil sticks.
Hell yeah, dude. And I mean, the tension just fucking flooded out of that room.
Hell yeah.
Like, you know, the kids are like, oh, cool. And like the adults are like, what the, wow, rad. And so, you know, I juggled for like, you know, 5-10 minutes. And then, you know, gave my sticks to one of the kids to fuck around with. And the other kids are like trying to, you know, they're just like, oh, cool, let me take a turn. And then one of the airline employees comes up and she puts her hand on my shoulder and she just looks me right in the eyes and she says, thank you so much. And I'm like,
thank you, kind of you.
Right? Like, because after that, no one was fucking yelling at them. You know? Like, they're like, all right, cool. Like, let's all sit down and watch this asshole juggle. You know? Like,
awesome.
Yeah, and so, you know, not too long after that, the first bus shows up. And, you know, I don't remember. I think a number of buses actually showed up. I want to say that at least enough buses for the first 2 flights showed up. So there was just like kind of a mass exodus getting out of there, which also was massively tension relieving, you know.
Yeah.
And
except for the tension of people who weren't getting out of there.
Yeah.
They probably were like, God damn it.
But I mean, some of those folks
they knew their
had kind of just showed up too. You know, like we'd been there forever. We were the first flight that got redirected, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, you know, on our way onto the bus, like fucking... Again, they're just like, hey, you know, thank you so much. Like, hope you get home okay. And I'm just like, oh, fucking, yeah, right on.
Yeah.
And get on the bus, and
For the listener at home, he did this little arm motion like the little kid meme, like putting his fist up, like, yeah. That really got me there. All right.
Cheers. Anyway, so yeah, we all get on the bus, and or at least the contingent that was getting on my bus all gets on their bus, and we take off, and I don't know why the buses weren't just kind of going in a caravan, but that, who knows? I'm not a bus driver. Maybe they got separated. But the bus ends up going out of Portland along the gorge, which is not how you get to Central Oregon.
No, it sure isn't.
Ordinarily, you take Highway 26, you go through Government Camp,
drive up around Mount Hood.
Yeah, that's the pass. Otherwise you're going down through Salem and Sweet Home. Well, not Salem, but you're going down through Sweet Home past Salem. Right. That's another route that's about the same amount of time. But
so they determined that the pass was going to be a no-go.
No, you'll find out.
Okay,
so, I noticed that we're going a weird way, and I'm just too young and inexperienced to realize that this is not the way we're supposed to go. Pretty sure a lot of the older folks on the bus were like, the fuck is he doing, and finally it gets dark. I want to say we had to be up around the Dalles somewhere, but I don't know where we actually were because it was a really fucking small town where he fucking pulled over. It was just like a gas station and a couple other little storefronts, and that was it. And the gas station's also got a general store, and the driver pulls in there, but he's not getting gas, he's just stopping, and he moves to get off the bus, and I should mention that when we got on the bus, everyone was happy-go-lucky after all the fucking bubbles and juggling.
They're just happy to be moving again too.
Right. No, actually, that's why they were happy. You're correct.
No. They were happy because of the bubbles and juggling. I'm sorry.
It's not because we were actually getting to our destination. Clearly. It was just the bubbles. No, everyone was stoked to be getting on the fucking bus. But once, people start thinking that we're going the wrong way, shit got pretty tense. And
you got all the way to the Dalles and no one was like, hey man, why are we going down 84?
Well, that is actually happening.
Yeah.
Oh, and no, actually, no, you're absolutely right. Before we even pulled over, there were people going, where are we going?
This isn't the regular route.
And the bus driver just wasn't answering any questions. And so, finally he pulls off and they're like, where are we? And he's like, I'm not sure. I think I took a wrong turn. But I'm going to go...
Back in Portland.
Yeah, right. He's like, I'm going to go find out where I need to go. And, dude, this...
Wow, yeah.
This old... He wasn't even old, but, this, timeless looking red-haired Sam Elliott cowboy motherfucker, straight up wearing a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, red and white striped western shirt.
Oh wow, yeah.
Some fucking Wranglers. Speaks up in his fucking foghorn voice, just well, I'd like to get off the bus and maybe get a 6-pack of beer. And the bus driver says, no, you can't drink on this bus. Well, pretty sure we should have been where we're going about 3 hours ago. Do believe that would help me feel a lot better about it. The guy, it gave him pause. He just kind of stops and thinks about it.
The bus driver.
Yeah, the bus driver. He's just is this whole fucking bus gonna get loose on me? Because it was rubble in the back of the fucking bus after that, And
well, and this cowboy has now established himself as the guy who's gonna get people something enjoyable,
right?
Or somewhere, anywhere, maybe.
He's certainly taking the first and most reasonable no, we're not going to do what you say anymore stance, and the guy's just oh man, I need to keep this shit under control, and he's just you know what, get whatever you want. And so this man, the cowboy, I've had, to my knowledge, or to my memory, virtually zero interaction with this man. Like, I want to say I got on that bus and was just perfectly happy to read my book. Because that's usually what I do when I'm traveling. Like, I'm not really into chatting with strangers. Like, I just want to listen to my headphones and read my book. But, you know, I'd realized that there was something going on, so I'd pulled my headphones out. You know, but up until that point, I was kind of just dimly aware of some people, like, not in being okay with where we were going or what we were doing or something. And so now, dude's just like, hey, brother, can I get you something? And I'm like...
Well, because you're seated next to him.
Yeah, no, I'm just across the aisle.
Oh, okay. So
like we both just kind of had two seats to ourselves, you know, and I'm like 19, turning 20 at this time, and I'm just like, yeah, man, that'd be great. And he's like, what do you want? And I'm like, you know, anything's fine, but if they got Black Butte Porter, that'd be pretty cool. And he's like, all right. And all these... I
was already probably drinking that on the plane.
Right? According to my story, that is definitely what I was drinking at least two of on the plane. And, you know, these like soccer moms and like church ladies are like, yeah, let's go get some wine. So
he spawns the Exodus.
Yeah, like half the bus gets up and goes into this fucking mini mart and must have just cleaned them the fuck out. Because they all came back with fucking shopping bags and snacks and like all kinds of stuff. And, you know, sit down. The bus driver starts driving again. And at first it's kind of like, so do you know where we're going? You know, like, you know, he's just like, yeah, we're going to be fine. Like, explains to someone the route that he's taking. And they reassure us that seems reasonable. And, you know, eventually everybody starts drinking and starts talking to their neighbors. And pretty soon, a bunch of perfect strangers who are pissed the fuck off for the better part of a day are best fucking friends. and I submit to you that Cowboy and I would have had virtually nothing to say to each other if we had just been seatmates. But I tell you what, you get half a fucking 6-pack of Black Butte Porter in me and like whatever the fuck that guy was drinking, pretty soon we got lots of common ground.
Absolutely. And, you know, and the day you had been through, I mean...
That's honestly the biggest part of it, is just that shared fucking experience.
Well, because surely a bubble-blowing, devil-sticking 19-year-old hippie isn't really looking to talk to full-clad Wrangler cowboy hat cowboy.
Yeah, like Garth Brooks era fucking stereotype,
and he,
you know?
definitely as fuck doesn't want to talk to you.
Oh, God.
So...
Yeah.
So here you are, though.
Yeah. But
finding common ground.
Damn straight. Oh, my God. Like, I don't even remember it, but, like, I remember there was a band that we both agreed was just, like, the shit, you know? It had to be, like, some kind of 70s fucking...
Right.
God knows what, but it was just like, oh, hell yeah! I'll drink to that!
You're damn right, Bob Seger's good.
You know? It might have been. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, like, we were just kind of like, fuck it. I don't care. Shit that you think is cool is awesome. Like, let's fucking drink. Like, we're done being pissed off.
Yep.
Let's just have a fucking good trip home, because we're getting home now. And I wish... I don't know if my mom, like, remembers picking me up that night or, like, what the deal was, but fuck, dude. I can only imagine, like, sorry, Mom, like, we're not landing in bed. I'm going to get the bus there eventually, and then doesn't hear from me for, like, 6 hours, because, like, seriously, that bus was gone forever.
This would have been, like, late 90s? Did you even have a cell phone?
Fuck no, I'd use a payphone to call her from, like, whatever. Oh, it's from the Redmond Airport. Just, like...
Yeah.
Oh, hey!
Be there someday.
I made it! You know?
Yeah.
And honestly, I think they had been in contact with the airline somehow. Just like, where is this bus? You know? Like, and, you know, they found out. Yeah. So, you know. Well, and also, like, that guy eventually, like, called into his superiors and let them know that he was fucking 10 kinds of lost. And...
What's real bullshit is if, in fact... 2 buses or more left at the same time, the fact that your bus decided to just fuck off the other direction.
Tell me about it.
Like, how did no one handle that?
Right?
Yeah, getting all the way down 84 into the gorge to be like, oh shit, we should have been way south. That's crazy.
Fucking A. I mean, and like my memory is dim. He might have even just taken the wrong turn out of Government Pass and like just kept heading east.
Ended up back up.
That actually seems more likely.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, like he got us to like Ty Valley or some shit, you know? Like we were deep cuts and not getting any closer to Bend. It was touch and go for a minute. Like that guy, I'm pretty sure he was thinking Lord of the Flies when he heard that fucking cowboy speaking out,
man.
You know?
People can turn so quick, and you get that sense.
Yeah, right?
You just know. It's like, yeah, people are about to get feral here.
Yes.
It's not even just upset or anger. It's real.
Yeah, like you've reached a turning point, and your decisions from here on out will decide your future. Fuck.
Damn.
He chose wisely. You know, I gotta say, you know, to his credit, guy couldn't fucking drive worth shit, but when the chips were down,
yep,
he said buy some beer.
Yeah, at a certain point, what are you gonna do? No, let them have beer.
Exactly.
Oh man. So you made it safely.
Yeah. Though. And dude, like some of those church ladies, like they were just eating up my fucking stories from like hippie camp and shit, you know?
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, because everyone's just yucking it up on the bus now. So
what are you about? What's your deal? You know, like
you didn't bust out the bubbles again.
I mean, I might have. There's a distinct possibility because some of the, you know, obviously all those people were in that room and they're like, "Oh, it's cool what you did with those kids," you know.
Yeah, that is cool what you did with those kids, though.
I'm just glad the idea occurred to me because it could have gone a lot of different ways.
Well, and you could have just been, like salting out in the corner with the rest of them too, just
right?
Like, ugh.
Fucking reading my book with my headphones on, but for some reason I decided to traipse about and blow bubbles.
That's a great story, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm so fortunate to never really have. You always hear the horror stories. Like, shit, man, you needed a John Candy. You were the John Candy almost.
I was the John Candy almost. It's true. I was skinny as fuck back then, but me now, shoo in.
Dude, Halloween next year, John
fucking Candy.
John Candy from Home Alone.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, man. That's great. All right. Well, you have anything else to tack onto this one?
Only that Uncle Buck is one of my favorite movies.
Damn right. All right, everyone, pour one out for John Candy.
Damn straight.
God damn. All right, thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for listening, guys.